Hey guys, what is up? It is Mike from the Battle Nations Bros here today, and today we will be doing an Ancient Sentry review, which is the new promotional unit, and also we will be doing some invasion strategy, just some basic things you have to know just to take down these rebels and silver wolves just a little bit better. This is Invasion 6, guys, so yeah, let's get this on the way. So first we're going to start out with our review of the Ancient Sentry. And so, we're just going to go and check out the overall design and look of this guy real quick. So I do happen to have one. And it sort of looks like the, if you have fought it before, like the head of the Ancient Sentinel. It looks very similar. The purple eye just may look a little smaller. And it also has, it seems like some light bulbs on the back of that. But yeah, it does look a little bit different, but it looks for the most part very similar to the Sentinel head. And so it does have 3 attacks. It has the same sort of icons as the ranged fragment, if you're lucky enough to have one of those. First of all, it has a penetrating blast, which is the first attack, the concealed lasers. Then its second attack is the 4-hit laser burst attack, which I'll be previewing in the battle. And the third attack is more of a broad-ranged attack, similar to the legendary Mammoth, and it actually hits the entire field if you put it in the front row. But that may actually be a problem, guys, because this Sentry, in my opinion, is a little underpowered. In the actual advertisement for it, it says that its armor is really good, but I actually find that to be not true because of the many armor-piercing attacks that the enemies that we face do have. So let's just get into showing what it's all about. So, I would go up against Rebels, but I'm not really sure this unit is ready for that because it's just a little too weak for that. So we're going to try out some Infected out in the world map here. So I'll try to keep my unit count as minimal as possible. Probably just throw out this mech troop, of course. And then probably just throw out a plasma troop because we are facing Infected. Alright, so as you can see, the Sentry kind of it floats, sort of using that ancient technology. It's actually quite interesting. But yeah, this is its penetrating beam attack. And keep in mind, guys, that the Infected are actually pretty low-level units. I'm facing level 55 Infected, if you can see that. And that's just sort of the damage of what the Sentry did. It does have some cooldown on its attacks, so I'm going to try to keep the other units from hitting as minimal as possible. I just want to make sure that we hit something. Just that plasma troop there. Mech trooper's alright. And now we're going to be showing off the penetrating beam attack. So it sort of has like a stranger sort of formation of attack. It hits 4 units, sort of like in a cross pattern. And so this is what it does. So that move actually does some legitimate damage. I believe the 2 moves are around the same level of armor piercing. Both have 5% critical hit rate versus a tank, and their base critical hit rates are both at 5% as well. They both have the same ammo used and ability cooldown, so that's important to know. So if you're usually going to want to use one of these laser attacks, you're going to want to usually use the second attack here. So now this is the all-around attack. It seems like it just hits the 3 units in front, but it actually hits a large range of units. And it has a 30% chance of stun, I believe, and 25% armor piercing on that. And so its major damage goes right in the center, but then it's also very major right here, and it sort of just fans out throughout the entire field from there. So it's actually an okay unit. If I were to recommend the attack that you would use most of the time, of course, you're going to use this electric stun attack, but you're not going to be usually putting in the front row. I mean, this is Infected, and it's already losing a bunch of health just because of the armor piercing. And so you're going to want to use this multiple ranged attack. Or actually, we're just not going to waste our time here. For the most part, guys, I don't think this is the best promotional unit we've seen. It is registered as a defense unit, metal defense unit. So, it's a little different there. And note that defense does not mean ignorable. Defense means like those units that you can specifically put out of your base, sort of like the pillboxes and such, so it counts for that. And so, yeah, my overall rating on the Ancient Sentry, it's not very high. Even at lower levels, it can be unlocked at level 15 if you do have a vehicle factory. At rank 1, it does 36 to 54 damage on its 2 laser attacks, and 35 to 53 damage on its other attacks. And the 2 laser attacks are explosive damage, and the field attack is more of a sort of fire-based damage attack. So, overall, guys, I just don't really think it's the best unit. I wouldn't really invest in too many of these, even though it is an ancient unit. You're thinking, oh, it looks so good, it's ancient, it's going to be good. Well, I just don't think, in my personal opinion, it's the best. It can get torn apart by mech troopers as well, if you do the promotional limited time mission that goes along with it. So it's just not really the best in my opinion. I'd probably give it around a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Just not the best promotional unit. So now we're going to move on to some invasion strategy in Invasion 6. So Invasion 6 does happen to be both, shout out to Boss Strike Killers, good job. It does happen to be both Silver Wolf and Rebel, so we're going to be fighting several different types of invasions here. So for the Silver Wolves, when they attack, you're mostly going to want to watch out for their vehicles. Their vehicles tend to do a little bit more damage, in my opinion. They just are very deadly when you just leave them alone. You're also going to want to make sure that you take out these Bombardiers, Wolf Thunders at my level, but sometimes they're called different names. But if you just see a guy with a cannon in the back, just know that you want to take those guys out first. And always make sure that you take out those vehicles as well. If you're lower level, watch out for the Wolf Artillery. It can do some damage to unarmored units, but at higher levels, most units have at least a small amount of armor, at least. So you're not going to really have to worry about that. And so that's just for more of the Silver Wolves. And the Rebels are actually kind of similar that you have to deal with here, if we go over here to the Rebel forces. So you're going to want to make sure that you take out those airplanes first. In my personal opinion, they can usually do more damage than the other units that you're going to be facing. Of course, you're going to want to take out those heavy-hitting units like the Tank Killer, or just units that can do large amounts of damage within short periods of time. Tanks, of course, you got to be concerned about. But yeah, guys, this is basically just fighting Rebels and Silver Wolves. They're not really that hard. You just got to make sure, if you have good strategy and you plan out what you're going to do with your units, you pretty much have it down. So, I'm actually not going to face these because I have some bosses that I have to fight a little bit later. So yeah. Those are basically the Invasion 6 enemies, guys. You're not going to really have to worry too much about them as long as you stick to the strategies and as long as you have a good formation set up. So yeah, guys, this was the Battle Nations Bros here with our Ancient Sentry review and Invasion 6 strategy guide. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe if you liked what you saw here. Also, leave some suggestions on what you guys want to see in the future. And we're going to be posting some more exciting content this afternoon with some Legacy Comp information. So make sure to watch out for that. So, yeah, guys, this is Battle Nations Bros, and we are out. Thank you for watching.